Dawson Rider Review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for the Memorial Edition of the Ryusoulken from Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger, also an upcoming weapon from the Power Rangers Dino Fury series. So if you don't know, these are essentially like the complete selection version toys in a way for Sentai instead of Rider, where you get a little bit more of a detailed and more robustly featured toy. And this one is actually much more to scale with an actual sword from the show. You know, it's not the little stumpy one. So that's like a huge draw of it. It is actually more like a cosplay prop, and it looks really cool with that. But you also have a ton of sounds to go over, just like with complete selection. Almost too much, but as you can see, look-wise, it's a little bit of a tight fit here, so I apologize about that. But I really like this weapon. Ryusoulger is a very mixed series for me, but I really like a lot of the designs and the weapons, so this is really cool. I'll be doing a comparison here in a second, but the blade largely looks like the original one for the most part, just, you know, larger scale, and it's gonna have more cool LEDs. This looks a little bit better. The gold's kind of comparable, but you have a nice shinier silver here, and in addition to having the actual longer blade, you actually have a longer handle too, which makes it just feel overall really cool. It feels a little bit lighter than I expected. Maybe that's just me, but for the most part, just look-wise, it's pretty cool to have this, and is one of the main reasons I got it, because like I said, I really liked it, and heading into Dino Fury, that's kind of exciting. But it features kind of most of the same things as the core Ryusoulken, aside from the large amount of sounds which take place from these buttons. But let's go ahead and go over some of the sounds, and then we'll do a comparison of this compared to the original version. Obviously, what else would I be comparing it to? Like a pumpkin pie. So turn this on here. So you see the LEDs there, you get your standard slashing noises. Hold it down for this mode, and look what happens. Nothing. And then, of course, you press this button here to activate that. You can see the eyes change. Just like the regular one. And one thing of note, which I'll probably bring to your attention multiple times, that's really nice, is you have to, you know, crank this multiple times to activate the sounds, and this is a much better reader. Like, it actually reads the movements one-to-one, and you're not just sitting there chomping until it reads it. It's just so much smoother. Now, the main difference here is these two buttons. This one here is going to activate your plethora of sounds and sound effects from the show. That'll be the last part of the review, because we're essentially just going to be sitting here listening to it. But this button here is background music. You get several different background tracks from the show. I'll play a small snippet of it just to avoid copyright, but let's go ahead and show those off before we get to the soul. This is my personal favorite one, because I always really like this track. It really fits the medieval theme. And then you circle back to that, and it just cycles through those three, and then when you hit that, it stops it. And the cool thing about that is you can put them on, and you kind of activate the slashing noises, so you can sort of role play like you're in the show, which is always a cool feature. Now, obviously, this thing does come with one Ryusoul, which is just Red's, which is kind of unfortunate that it's only his. You know, it looks fine. It looks just like a regular Ryusoul here. Par for the course stuff. You can still do all the same Ryusoul stuff you could do before. You can put this on the Megazord, which is nice. And here's a comparison. First off, this is to the original recipe version. Honestly, I can hardly tell a difference between the two of them. There might be, the gold on this one's a little bit like more solid, like more gold. This one's a little paler, but it's certainly not as different as I would have hoped. I didn't expect them to be kind of a different size or that much differences, but it just feels like, honestly, just a variant error. And it is disappointing it only comes with this. Like, I know this has a lot of sounds and whatnot to make this worth it. It's a nice size, LEDs and all that, but considering the premium price of this, and it's like this big set about Ryusoulger, it would have been nice to include all 5 main keys for you, but you do just get this one. So let's go ahead and go over its bass sounds before we get into comparison mode. So let's do it to it, Lars. I'm feeling skinny, Tony. Let's put it in the right way, Tony. So it's a little bit tough to do. There we go. So it'll say that, and then just normal slashing noises, and then when you hold it down, you actually have Ko's voice actor. Well, that's just an actor, but you know what I mean. Ko's voice is saying it rather than the Ryusoulken's voice. But now let's do the transformation noises, or not transformation, but attack noises. And you can see the LEDs going back and forth, which is really cool as a feature that happens a lot. So that's really neat. And as you can see, it reads that so much better and so much more concisely, which I really appreciate. Now, just real quick, just to show you, this is the old standard Ryusoul. So you get the same exact noise. So it's the same, like, reading and everything. You don't get a special sound if you use the old one, and vice versa. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and compare the two here. So here, obviously, we have our Memorial Edition, and then here is the original recipe version. You can see I'm going to kind of pan out here, but you can see this has got a much stubbier handle, obviously a much stubbier sword. You don't have the nicest clear color on here. This is also a nice clear, kind of almost metallic-y navy color. You can see right there, this is more of like kind of a dull gray plastic. You do have the shiny silver on the teeth, but this is overall better. But like they're semi-comparable here, I would say, in this main portion. But then obviously, this is like a huge difference. I didn't even think about the fact that it was going to have a proportionate handle. Like I was more like, oh cool, it's going to be actual sword size. But then you have the actual proportionate handle, which makes it feel nicer. This is kind of more of your classic Sentai weapon. I will be interested to see what the Power Rangers version does, because they have been known to actually release longer swords. I don't know if it would be one with a lot of sounds, but it has been known to happen, so we'll have to see when that comes around. But you can see the obvious differences there, and the upgrade is why you would want it if you want something more accurate to the show. Now let me just move him out of the way briefly, and let's review the old one. No, I'm just kidding. We're just going to show the sounds really quickly for the new version, so you can sort of see the comparison of what the sounds are like. So you have that, but then when you hold it down, so that's like the main difference of most of the Ryusouls. This thing, the new one, does read all the Ryusouls, and all the sounds are like 90% the same. They are a lot clearer, a little bit variations, but for the most part, the main difference is when you hold down this button, they will have slightly different noises, and primarily for the Rangers, rather than the old one right here, which has the sound of the Ryusoulken's voice, you will have a voice phrase from the show, and then, see what I mean about the reading it? So you can see same sounds. Now I am going to go over some of the key previous Ryusouls in this just to show you. I might do a separate video later where I show all of them, but just so you know, they do read them. They're primarily the same sounds outside of the holding down button sound, so it's not worth showing you every single Ryusoul I own in this review, but this will give you a taste of the differences for the core Rangers and the core different Ryusouls. And so you'll get the different colored LED there. So you get the idea, those sounds are the same, and in case you didn't know, you press this button to release it, in case you're new to Ryusoulkens, but now I'll just do the unique sounds for the other Rangers. Now it does read golds as well, even though it's not his changer. Now we get into some different ones that will make some slightly different sounds. You have the Geizorg one. Okay. Now we'll show off one of the ability ones. So the sound here is slightly different, whereas the other one will have a combination of that and the Ryusoulken voice. Okay, and then the last two are going to be an example of an armor one here. Alright, and then the last one I'll show off is just for fun. Here we have the Kishiryu Soul. So you get the idea. Like, as I said, it's basically the same sounds, just a lot clearer for the most part. Outside of when you hold this down, there is some slight variations, but not enough worth showing at all in this, considering what we have to cover. So now, the last thing we have to cover here is this second button here, which offers all of your different phrases from the show, and when you hold it down, it will rotate to different modes. You have Ryusoulger mode, which has phrases for all of them. You have one for red, blue, pink, green, black, and then you have one for the mecha. And all of them will have their different sounds and will rotate through all of them. Just for the sake of, you know, being more comfortable, I'm going to keep it down like this so you can get the idea, but I'll press this, and you hold it, and then we will start.
俺たちは愚かかもしれない。俺たちは愚かだから学ぶんだ。
一人じゃダメでもみんなとなら乗り越えられる。
俺はみんなと会って仲間の素晴らしさに気づけた。失敗することもあるだろうけど、仲間がいれば何度でも立ち上がれる。今までの歴史をなかったことにするのはただの逃げだ。俺たちは逃げない。行くぞ。
So that takes us back to the beginning of that one. So now hold down the button again to change it to Ryusoul Red mode. And then in this mode, you can also activate some of his Link-like key-ops. And they have that for all of them in the slashes, depending on which Ranger mode you're in, which is a cool feature. That noise of falling is not part of its sounds. Spit it out! Today, Junior?
嫌いや。
Oh my god.
みんなを救え。
Are you serious? How long that pause was?
こう。はあ。最後に。仲間に会えて。ほんま。一緒に戦おう。なんだ。僧侶。一つに。
Yeah, we get it.
これが俺たちの騎士道だ。行くぞ。みんな。行くぞ。よし。
Okay. Now I think we're done with his, like, geez. Alright. Now we're on blue. Now time to listen to his dialogue from episodes 1 to 50. The hell? Youths! Oh my god.
アスナの言う通りだ。昔の俺なら失敗のない世界を望んだかもしれない。でも今は違う。コウが、アスナが、みんなが助けてくれる。それでまた前を向ける。強くなれる。
I cannot even believe they paused between them. Like, we don't have the time.
ちょっと待っててくれ。
You call me on the payphone and waste my time.
俺たちはもう諦めたりなんかしない。竜装天地。H の騎士。
There we go. Now we're on pink.
ちをもてあそんで笑うなんて。
Oh my god.
お前だけはその澄ました顔泣きっ面に変えてやる。何迷ってんのこう。あんた勇猛の騎士でしょ。私の命こうに預けたから、いつもいい時に都合よく来るでしょ。それが仲間。私はこれからもみんなと一緒に笑い合いたい。
She's upset because how long it's taking.
竜装チェンジ。
There we go.
竜装チェンジ。勝負しよう。お前が勝ったら仲間になってやる。俺やっとコウたちのことが分かった気がする。大勢の命を救うためなら一人の犠牲を払うのも仕方がないと思ってたけど違う。兄さん、俺たちの誰かな。期待になんか答えなくたっていいじゃん。人に期待されなくても褒められなくても俺は俺のやるべきことをやるよ。俺は絶対に諦めないから。兄さんもちゃんと愛想よくしなきゃダメだよ。すぐ極論で解決するのもダメ。いつも笑顔でー。竜装チェンジ。ブラック。竜装チェンジ。
It's like a boat.
この世界にはない優しさは時に弱さになる。すまない、トアを救ってもらって。そういう時はありがとうだよ兄さん。お前は竜相族として生まれた。カードゲームと同じ。
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh?
配られたカードで勝負するしかないんだ。死んで逃げようとするな。
But when are you playing Yu-Gi-Oh though?
いつもでいいから
Oh, now.
自分と真正面から向き合ってみろ。
Oh, calm down, sir.
戦えなだ。
I can't hear you when you yell like that, sir.
大事な仲間ならそばにいて守ってやれ。竜装チェンジ。
Finally. Alright, now we're on the Kishiryu. We're in the endgame now, guys.
脅かすのが一番のルール違反だ。俺はな、こう、お前のことが大好きだ。お前のためなら俺は封印されてもいい。最初は勢いだけのバカなやつだと思ってた。でもたとえくじけそうになっても何度でも立ち上がる。再びエラスを封印することは俺たち騎士流の使命だ。だからこう、竜奏者としての使命を果たせ。大丈夫。どこにいてもソウルは一つだ。こう。
No, Dawson.
お前に会えてよかった。また会おう。
トリケン。
トリケン。
This is the first time I'm thankful they all didn't have voices.
タイガランス。
タイガランス。ミルニードル。ミルニードル。
All aboard!
モサレックス。
モソ。
Mimosas, that's what I need right now.
自分の愚かさに気づかされた。
Oh,
お前たちに過去の恩習だけを授けて未来への希望を渡していなかった自分のな。あいつらは私が知っている陸の竜相族とは確かに違うようだ。モソーカナロ、そして陸の竜相族たちよ、お前たち若者を信じることにした。
リメモル系の
oh my god, Lynn.
そもさん、何時に問う。パンはパンでも食べられるパンは愚か者めだ。姫。そもさん、何時に問う。いざと10回言ってみろ。それでどうだ。正解。スピノさんだ。
シャインラプター。シャドウラプター。コスモラプター。パキガル。シビガル。
父ちゃんに会いたい。父ちゃん。シビガルオン。復活。
ステラード。おっと、お前を。
おっと、大丈夫か。
ピータ
皆目を開き空を見よ。鳥か飛行機か、いやクテラードンだ。俺のリリッサに凍えて眠れ。
お前らのそのまっすぐなところを好きになっちまったんだよ。ディノミーゴ。
Alright, and that is pretty much about the end. If I forgot any, or anything was left out, I'm sorry, but I think you got the general gist of it. So as you can see, this thing is very feature-rich. As with some of the previous complete selection and things like this that I've reviewed, I almost think it has too many sounds. Honestly, it's the first time I can think of where I've advocated for something to have less features. Like, it's really cool they try to make your money's worth, but I personally think it's a bit much. I think a lot of the sounds are cool. I like the idea of there being a mode for each ranger, but I think they could tone down the amount of phrases they have. Like, you're acting out entire storylines. I can't even believe they pause in between them. I think they could consolidate it to a few sounds for each of the rangers and for the mecha, and it would have been pitch perfect with everything else. But setting that aside, because I think it just being too many sounds, it's a really cool toy. I really like it a lot. I love the design of the sword. It's really really cool to have a more screen accurate one. The sounds that it does have that I like are really cool. The background music is cool. The different modes are cool. So overall, I think if you're a Ryusoulger fan, and I think if you are looking forward to Dino Fury and you're interested in the sword, I think it's at least worth a look. You know, who knows, maybe you're into all of the different sounds that it has and just the huge amount of them, but I think it's a bit much. But setting that aside, it definitely makes it worth your money, with my only real complaint outside of the too many sounds being I think it should have included all 5 Ryusouls. But that being said, if you're a Ryusoulger fan, I can at least recommend looking into this if you can find it for a good price. Anyways, guys, that's about it for this one. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell with notifications from my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.